Grace can mean many things for many people. Have you considered, do you have grace in your life? Now, this is a question that maybe you never thought about. It's a gift and an understanding that I am divinely guided, and that everything that happens, even though sometimes it may seem like that wasn't supposed to happen, right? If you embody and embrace grace, you can now live from a place that you understand that even though it may not look like something that is according to your plan or what you think is supposed to be, that is working out for your favor. So what I am telling you is that what's going on, familia, and welcome to the show. On today's show, we're going to be talking about grace. And so grace can mean many things for many people, right? So if you go on a dictionary, you look it up, you got grace being something that is when someone's dancing, so graceful, right? You have grace where you can talk about it biblically, where it's like, oh, God's grace in your life, right? And then you also got grace where it's favor, right? Something that was bestowed on you, a gift, so to speak, right? And so today's topic, we're going to go deep on grace. So have you ever considered what is grace? Have you considered, do you have grace in your life? Right now, this is a question that maybe you never thought about. You know, this is a question that's not typically thought about. And I'm going to tell you right now, what sparked it up for me was I was listening to a podcast. And on the podcast, he began to discuss he's in a period of his life where he's navigating grace. And I went through that. I know what that felt like. And so without judgment, obviously, but I'm listening to him, and there was some aspects of it that I know that I went through, that I thought that was grace, right? And one of the examples he gave was, like, when you are in grace and you're embracing grace, you have a better understanding for others, and therefore you give grace, right, to others, right? And so, like, giving grace to others, in this case, the way it was explained was when somebody honks the horn on you, right? Or cuts you off, or it gives you an attitude. You are in a place of grace, of a vibration of grace, and therefore you're understanding. And you run them through these filters of like, well, I don't, in this situation, he's like, well, I don't know if this person needs to use the restroom right away. That's why they cut me off. I don't know if this person I just it's got a phone call and somebody's in the hospital, they have to make it, which is, it's a beautiful way of looking at things from a different perspective. But for me, as I started to dive deep into grace, I had a different perception. And that was part of the layers. Don't get me wrong. That was part of the layers. But the perception of grace that I want to offer you guys today as a different set of lens is, first and foremost, not giving grace, receiving grace, right? And so one of the things that I see that we have been programmed is with what's a societal construct of what it is they want us to be and how they want us to be, is the sense of like, you have to do something to get something. And don't get me wrong, I'm not this person with the head in the clouds that freaking doesn't understand that you need to actually do action to manifest in this reality. Like, I'm totally, I am that guy. I understand that, right? However, we have been programmed that something like grace is like, okay, am I worthy of it? Am I worthy of grace? Like, first of all, what is grace? And so for me, grace is a gift. It's a gift and an understanding that I am divinely guided, and that everything that happens, even though sometimes it may seem like that wasn't supposed to happen, right? If you embody and embrace grace, you can now live from a place that you understand that even though it may not look like something that is according to your plan or what you think it's supposed to be, that is working out for your favor. Right? And it's hard for you to grasp and understand that if you think that you are unworthy of grace. Like, what did I do to deserve grace? Right? And so what I am telling you is that you are born here with grace. Grace is a part of your DNA. It's a part of your makeup. It's a part of your program. It's a part of your gift that was bestowed upon you when you came into this life. Your life, you being alive, that's grace. Right? It's you. You are grace. Being alive in this reality right now, it's not by chance. And you didn't do anything for it. It was gifted to you. This life that you have was gifted to you right now, given to you. You came into this world. You didn't say, oh, I'm going to, your consciousness did not say, oh, I'm going to, and you came here and you remembered, oh, I decided. No, we don't remember this stuff. But what I'm saying is if you can understand that your life is a gift, then you can understand that you are grace. And if you have that understanding that I am grace, then now when you move through life, you're not constantly like, oh my gosh, why is this happening? Oh, this happened to me. Oh, that is. No, you are now understanding that everything that is happening for you is a gift and is happening to you with grace. And it may not seem like it, but if you have that understanding and that knowing, then the energy changes. The perception changes. The way you see reality changes. You're not going to be looking at things like, oh my gosh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. You're going to look at it from the set of lens and extract the wisdom from everything that is happening because you know that all this is happening through grace. Now, something else that I want to bring up with grace. I think one of the missed opportunity that we have when it comes to grace. I feel that grace, the way defined through religious and social cultures and norms, is begging. I have to beg for God's grace. Like, God, please show me some grace. That right there is not grace. First of all, you're coming from a very disempowered place. What do you expect when you come begging? You're going to get crumbs. But when you understand that grace is a gift that you came and were born with, that grace now programs this mind that we have that then activates a reticular activative system that sets up the filters of how you see your life, how you see a situation, how you analyze and understand a particular situation or a scenario. When your hardware, your subconscious space is now understanding that you and grace are one, and grace is a gift, and that gift is you. And everything that's happening and this unraveling thing that we call life in this journey is happening for your greater good. And understand and adopt and integrate grace as a value, as a belief, as a perspective of how you see your life and all the situations around you. Now we get in a better understanding of grace, right? Because now grace, once you have that embodiment, we don't have to think about extending grace. See, in the example that I shared earlier, the process, the ego is processing, which is a beautiful thing. I'm not saying that this is bad. I want to be clear with that. I'm saying that this is still the ego analyzing and understanding grace. You're not operating in grace, right? Because once you understand and embody grace, now you operate in grace. You don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about when this person cussed me off. Wow, well, they're probably going through this or maybe this and maybe that. And so I'm going to extend grace. No, that part no longer happens. It's automatic. You don't have to think about like, oh, parting somebody or extending grace to anyone, because you are grace. Your vibration is grace. Your creation is grace. You understand I am grace. And therefore, everything that is happening, the unraveling, the things that you're thinking, oh my gosh, this craziness is happening in my life. You realize that all this is happening as a form of grace to refine you, to mold you, for you can extract wisdom so that you can move forward in this journey that we call life, empowered with resilience. And the beautiful thing about grace, that when you fully embody and actually know that I am grace, gratitude is the ultimate, like, it's automatic side effect. And so there's a lot of things out there we talk about gratitude and have an attitude of gratitude and wake up in the morning and think about all the things that, that you're grateful for. And those are all beautiful practices. But what I'm saying is, when you understand that you are grace and grace is you, then gratitude automatically happens. It's automatic. All you can think about is how grateful it is that you have this grace in your life, that you are grace, that you were born with this grace. And I know sometimes it may feel like where's grace? I could sure use a little cup of grace right now. I want to sip on this grace right now because I need it. And I know, because I've been there many times, many, many, many times, to the point where I know that I felt that sense of energy where I'm begging for grace. And I've been shown time and time again, my son, you do not need to beg for grace. You are grace. All you need to do is understand and know and live and walk in that truth. And grace will be with you every step of the way, because it can't be without you. You are it. And so today's message comes with the understanding that grace is a value and a belief, and it's the word I'm looking for. A value, a belief, a sense of beingness that I would recommend, suggest, and ask that you navigate. And I honestly, you don't need to do this. But if you're watching this, you already know how it goes. You're watching this for a reason, right? And so there have been many situations in the last few weeks where I've had to mentor and coach people, and just something as simple as telling them that grace, you are grace and grace is you, has shifted things in their lives. And literally brought me to tears within days of what they shared back, because they had that share. And so on today, I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about today on today's show? And that's boom, right away. Grace, 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 grace. And I want you to know that grace is with you right now. All you got to do is stop resisting, allow it to enter your heart, and then take the time to let grace reveal the wisdom that has been unraveled through the life that you think is so fucking hard and is, oh my gosh, this and that and this and that. Let grace unravel, take the veil off, and show you the wisdom that you've incurred through this refinement that we call life, that we call a journey. And then gratitude is going to overflood you, is going to break open your heart in such a way that when it comes time to extend grace, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to say, oh, I think that this person might be going through this. And no. It's automatic. It's automatic. And when you speak to people, they're going to sense that. And there's a lot of things going on today that has people in a panic, that has people questioning life, that have people questioning what is going on right now. And I want to say, just tap into that grace and know that you are grace. And that grace, that mindset, that reticular activated system is going to trigger, and you're going to start to see life through a different way, bringing your energy up, having you exude this sense of gratitude, knowing that you have the gift of grace. And that grace is bestowed upon you as a gift from the Creator. And knowing that God's grace is with you is going to allow you to walk a very empowered life, a life that to some people may seem like it's supernatural. And I'm here to tell you that it's not supernatural. It's actually natural. But we've been trained to think it's supernatural, like it's something that is out of the ordinary for us. But that should be our norm, because that's how we came here. That is who we are. And having that understanding is going to change your life. And I want you to understand that I am here to share this with you because I love you and I believe in you. And I know that everything that you think is like, oh my gosh, is working for your greater good. And I'm not discrediting anything that you're going through, because I know when we're going through shit, it's real. 100% real. And we feel it, and emotionally, physically stressed out, like we go through it. And there are many situations that I've been through that in hindsight, I'm like, wow, dude, like that was really rough times, but you kind of overreacted. And why was that? Why was that? Because I was not moving in grace, and I didn't understand that I am grace. Right? So I hope that this resonates with you guys. This is going to be a short episode, and it's short for a reason, because I want you to understand this. I don't want to add any other stuff that's unnecessary. All right? This is a real direct message from your brother Sam, letting you know that you are grace. And I love you very much. And remember, I am you, you are me, and we are one.